Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the 30s podcast. I am your solo host today, Uncle Marcus. Today, Clint is not here. He is visiting his family out on the East Coast because it is Thanksgiving. The holidays are upon us, so it is that time of year. And he's not here today, so I'm going to try and do this on my own, and I think I'm going to do an okay job, but it may be, well, we're along for the ride together on this. So thanks for joining, everybody. It is the day after Thanksgiving today, also known as Black Friday. A day of shopping, a day to get started on your holiday shopping if that's what you like to do, or buy a lot of things that you don't need, which is what I like to do. And then you get bombarded with ads through your email. The last couple of weeks I've been bombarded by emails. I'm sure the rest of you have been too, but just a great time of year. I feel like this is like the holiday season right now, but which technically starts around Halloween time. I forgot to mention Caesar's here too, so he may be popping in. There he is.
Hey guys.
But yeah, I think Halloween starts the holiday season. But for me, I would say holiday season starts after Thanksgiving, or actually with Thanksgiving, because that's really the time when you get together with your family members. We're not getting together for Halloween. That's not a family gathering holiday at all. No. We get together to, dress up, get candy, and get scared. But Thanksgiving, that's the first of the holidays where you get the entire family together and just do whatever it is your family likes to do, traditions, obviously the whole turkey bullshit, and, it is what it is. We still do it. I know for myself, I have a very small family, and we still do the turkey thing, but it's more of just something that you're supposed to do instead of let's really get together and give thanks all that, even though that we know that's not really true anymore, the whole Pilgrims, Indians things. But it's just, we don't really do it. We're not like a big family thing. So it's not for us, but it is for a lot of people, hence why Clint is not here today. He's with his family of I don't know, they got a big family, and they all get together and they do the whole fucking dinner thing, and great for them. Not for me. So I spent yesterday my family came over. Well, it was me and my dad and my older brother, and then his fiance and their newborn child, and we just kind of hung out and had some food. And it made me realize, this is something I've known for many years, but it is a weird phenomenon that, I don't know, maybe Caesar, you can join in if this is the same for you too. No matter how old that you get, what's going on in your life, how successful or not successful you are, again, doesn't matter how old you are, let's tie this into the 30s because I'm in my 30s. Anytime your family gets together, you still kind of get reverted back into that childhood version of yourself. Yeah. I know, for me, I'm very different from my family. I'm very much not in a negative way, but the black sheep of the family, where they're similar. They have similar interests, similar personalities, similar senses of humor. They look the same. I don't look like them, but I am confirmed to be the child of the parents. But I'm very much not like them. And then once we all get around that dinner table, it's like you're a kid again. They treat you the same way. I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? Is it the same with you? Happen with you?
I think so. Yeah, they're a little more like you. I feel like that. I still feel like, oh, it's my aunts and uncles, or even my older cousins. It just feels like I'm the younger one still, even though it's but it doesn't matter at this point how I'm 1 year younger than you, or even a few years younger than you, and it still feels like I'm a kid.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's you always have that kids table kind of look. You're always going to be the kid. Yeah. And the dynamic was a little bit different this year because my older brother just had a kid. So there was a fresh baby at the table, 2 months old. It's a fresh baby. And so the baby was getting a lot of the attention, and I don't want any attention, but it was very much, I was just sitting in silence eating my turkey. And the rest of them oh, over the
The
baby.
baby did this.
Yeah, the baby's fucking spitting all over its chin. Amazing. I'm trying to eat over here. And which it's gross. Like it's not cute when a baby spits. If you haven't seen it, like the spittle, it's fucking gross. It's like vomit mixed with spit. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's
and yeah. And so like there was an added thing to dinner this year, but it was still like I could still remember being like 8, 9, 10 years old, and it's like this was the same kind of dynamic.
Same thing going on.
Yeah, no one's really talking to me at the table because I'm like the different one, and like, God, it's so weird that that happens every year. No matter how old you get, you're still like you're still going to be that version of yourself to
that little kid,
your family, and it's really only I've noticed like a part of gatherings like that, because like outside of that, depending on your relationship with your family, you're never like at a sitting down together and like, I don't know, just having a meal together like that. Like you could have dinner out once in a while with somebody, but it's never like you come over and you're there all day and then they make the food and it's like you got to clean up afterwards. And so it's like,
it's like a big meal. It's like a big deal. And you're not used to doing that all the time.
No, and it's like after dinner, like you just go back upstairs to go to bed. Like that's like the same thing. And it's like, I'm not 12 anymore. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird kind of, I don't know. And I'm sure it's going to happen till the end, when people start dying off. It's like, you're still going to have that, that mentality of like, you're going to be in that role in the family. But anyway, back to it being Black Friday. Yeah, I did some shopping today. Like I said, I was bombarded by lots of ads and emails from mostly Amazon. Amazon's on a fucking, they know what to do. Amazon, like there's a reason why.
Do you buy a lot of your stuff on there?
I do, unfortunately.
So they know, like, because you buy so much, they're probably like, we know exactly what he wants.
What he wants. It sucks too, because I don't want to be the guy that's like, fuck Amazon, because there are those people like support small businesses, and like I'm like, yeah, support small businesses, but I can get this thing tomorrow.
It's more convenient for me to do this.
Yeah, I'm in bed. I'm shopping while I'm in bed, and if you shop early enough, you can get it that day.
It's true. Yeah. Plus, like at this point, like Amazon had eliminated all their competition, so like some stuff you can only get on Amazon.
That's right.
Very specific things.
Yes. Very specific things. Yeah. You would think like, I don't know if I'm going to find this, but I'll just type it into Amazon and see if it's there. First choice. It's like free if you have Prime, free delivery after 3 p.m. or whatever it is, and you're like, all right, fuck. And today, like, the convenience of Amazon. I made a purchase yesterday on one of my credit cards that got flagged as like suspicious purchase, but it was legitimate though. Like just like they were like, "Oh, is this you?" And I said yes. And when that happens with this particular credit card, they block it usually unless you approve the request in like 5 minutes. For your safety, they cut it off. So I approved it, and like as a means to like test out if it was blocked or not without me having to call them or anything, I bought something off of Amazon
just to try it out.
Yeah, I was like, there's a book I've wanted, so I just let me give it a shot, and I got it today in the mail.
What?
Yeah, and this was yesterday on a holiday. Still on holidays, you can buy your shit on Amazon and it'll be there tomorrow.
Think of all the people that had to work overnight for you to get this book.
They're getting paid holiday pay, I'm sure. I think Amazon takes good care of their employees. I haven't really heard bad press about their work habits. I could be wrong.
You are.
Yeah, I am wrong.
You are.
Okay. Well, whatever. Thank you, Amazon. Am I really wrong? Do they mistreat their workers?
Yeah, dude. They don't let them go to the bathroom at the warehouses. Like some people have to pee in bottles because they're expected to like run from one place to the other in a giant warehouse. So they really like, they're like, yeah, sometimes like if you have to go number 2, like you're basically like, you're going to get in trouble, like for wasting so much time.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I wasn't going to tell you unless you asked me.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to buy from Amazon, but
yeah, me too.
I would think a company that makes that much money would take good care of their employees. And every time I see the employees in the trucks, at least the warehouse might be different.
Yeah.
But the ones in the trucks, they never seem like upset. Like I sometimes I talk to them if I'm like in the garage and they happen to come up.
Yeah.
And one guy came twice in one. Okay, here's the story. There was one time I had multiple packages delivered by Amazon in the same day, and the first time the guy dropped it off, he dropped off one package but not the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, that's a little weird. And then the second time I happened to be in the garage with the door open when he dropped it off the second one. And it was like an hour later than the first one. And I was like, oh, did you didn't want to drop off both at the same time? And he was like, sometimes we get so many, we just don't know. Like we just go down the list. They don't put them together. And I was like, does that happen all the time? And he was like, it happens pretty often.
Damn. So they go places twice?
Yeah. He went to like my house and another house, wherever he went after that. But like an hour later he came back and I was like, that seems kind of inefficient.
Yeah.
And he was like, it is what it is. Like he was very chill about it. Very like, he didn't seem like he didn't have a chip on his shoulder about the job. So I assumed like,
well, I assume that like a
job.
lot of the drivers, especially because they're always hiring. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that can work those jobs and it works out for them.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Is that it's so big that they have so many employees that it must not be a terrible place to work.
No.
They must have some kind of, whether the whole bathroom thing, but I mean, really getting paid a decent wage.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, yeah, and that's all I've heard. I've only heard bad things about the warehouse, not about anything else. But I mean, that's still pretty important.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Clint about it. He worked in the warehouse for a little
bit.
Yeah, he needed it was like a COVID job. Mm-hmm. And I'll let him tell the story next time. But he worked in a Amazon warehouse and he hated it. But I don't think it was for those reasons. It was just the job itself. He didn't like it. Anyway, yeah, Black Friday. I remember. So now this year and like the past, I don't know, 5-6 plus years, it's been so easy with Black Friday because you can buy everything online. But I'm of an age, because I'm in my 30s, that you used to have to camp out for Black Friday. And I did it many years where we would do Thanksgiving dinner. And then afterwards, it was not with my family, it was with my friends. We would go, it was always to a Target or a Best Buy. And one year was a Walmart, never again, because
Walmart, yeah.
There was a goddamn zoo in there. But you would have to camp outside and like the line would wrap around the building. And it was like a tradition almost. So where, you have your dinner and then you go to Target, Best Buy, whatever, and then you just hang out outside. And it's like, it was always fun. It was never like a chore. And those days are gone.
Yeah.
And did you ever have to do that?
All the time, yeah.
Yeah,
Every year.
Yeah, and it was like an experience. Like sometimes we'd take shifts. So there'd be some of us there waiting and we would go home or rest, whatever. And then the other crew would come in and then hold the spot. And, you change out. And then like the last crew to come in would bring like coffees and stuff and like breakfast, whatever. And it was like, it was an experience. And then I never needed anything, but some of us did. Like they wanted to buy a fucking TV or whatever. I was just there to get whatever was cheap. So like a cheap Blu-ray, a cheap like water pick, like, toothpaste is like super cheap. I'll grab that. $1 Blu-rays, all that stuff. Yeah. And, there was one time, there was outside of a Target and, we were waiting. It was like 5 of us. We were waiting there the whole time, camped out. There were people in front of us that were really cool. We were socializing with them. They were really chill. We had a good time. How did this go down? Okay, I remember now. It was fine. There was like 5 or 6 of us. And then towards the time they were going to open the place, we had one other person join us who was not there at all. And they had other stuff to do and like they didn't want to camp out. And it was fine. Like, yeah, you can just come join us at 6 a.m. whenever they opened. Yeah. And he brought like coffees and like donuts and stuff and came up to us. And there was a lady that was like 10 people behind us who was like, they're cutting to us. And we were like, what? Like, what's going on? And she started like making a big scene about it. And she came up to us and she was like, there's no cutting. There's no cutting.
Oh,
You guys
no.
can't cut. We've been waiting out here all night. And we were like, lady, we've been here all night too. I understand. Like, we're not cutting. She's like, no, you guys just got here. I just saw him walk up. You all just got here right now. There's no cutting. We were like, what? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So she like storms off to the front and comes back with an employee. And it was like, they're cutting. They cut in line. We've been here all night. They haven't been here. They cut. And they were like, this crazy fucking, she was like older, right? And we're like, lady, like she was like 10 people behind us. She was not that far behind us. We're like, what are you talking about? And we're like, no, we didn't cut. And the guy was like, you know, you guys can't be cutting in line. I think because we were younger too. They just assumed that like, because at this time I was probably like 20, like early 20s, probably like 20. And they're like, you guys can't be cutting in line. You guys have to go to the back, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we didn't cut. Like we were not cutting. Yeah. And then the people in front of us who we've been talking to throughout the night who were really cool, they were like older, you know, probably like my age now or like in their 40s. And they were like, this lady's out of her goddamn mind. They're not cutting. We've been here the whole time. They've been here the whole time. She's fucking crazy. There's no issue here. Yeah. And I think because that guy was like an adult, I guess.
They listened to him.
Yeah, and didn't like, you can tell he was not with us. He listened to him and was like, oh, okay, lady, you have to go to the back. So they sent her ass to the back and she was like, like she was stunned, right? And I think she was by herself too. She didn't have anybody else with her.
So when she left the line, it was like,
yeah, it was like, she went up and she was like, I'm not going back. Like, what? Like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, like, my bad. And he's like, you got to go to the back. And it was one of those things where she started walking to the back and people started applauding.
Oh, God. Damn.
And like, even though we were like in our 20s, we weren't like those 20-year-olds who were like, fuck you, we got you.
You were just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Because the whole thing was probably like a 5-minute exchange, but it felt like a long time. And we were just like, hey, thanks, guy. There's the guy in front of us. And he was like, yeah, that lady's fucking crazy. So yeah, no, those days are gone. The Black Friday drama. And like, you see those videos from, like back in the day, people will stampede through the doors. Yeah. They open the doors and it's like, oh, what a world we used to live in. And those days are gone now because we can all shop from our beds on Black Friday.
I think I even did it right before COVID, like 2019.
Oh, really? That late, huh?
Yeah. I think, COVID was really the end of it.
Yeah. Probably. COVID is the end of everything. It's a whole new world after COVID. Mm-hmm. So many more things are online now, which is great because I like shopping online.
Yep.
But yeah, Black Friday is over, so we're moving into the Christmas season. And I don't know, I'm not really a fan of the Christmas season. It's just like the darkness coupled with the amount of people that are out on the streets or in the shops is just, it's rough, dude.
Crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. And yeah, I don't know, like whoever, like, okay, this brings me to, so today I was driving into the studio today and it was like I was on the way here at like 4:15-ish, 4:30. So right now, dusk, because of whatever ding-dongs don't want to deal with our clocks. And just like, it's just depressing being out and about at that time of day at 4:30 and knowing it's going to be dark in like 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then that coupled with, there's just so many people out during the holidays doing either the shopping or doing events. I don't know, it just gets to be kind of annoying at one point, but also depressing, I think. Especially for me, because I don't have a big family or anything. I don't go to a lot of events. So it's like, I'm not really doing, my day-to-day hasn't changed much for the holidays, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to Christmas. It's always the worst time of the year for me. I don't know if you feel the same way. But
I kind of agree with you. I don't really love it. Like I'll enjoy like the time that I get to spend with my family, but like the day like leading up to it, where going to the store to get toothpaste is a nightmare.
Just going to the store to get like toothpaste or deodorant, I need one thing. And like now I'm really going to abuse the Amazon luxury of I just need like toothpaste. I'm just going to go on Get Daddy Bezos to deliver it overnight instead of having to run down to the store. And God, like it's so depressing going down an aisle to just get one thing and it's just packed with people.
And you got to find parking and then you have to wait in line to pay.
Yeah. And even now the self-checkout lines are packed too because there's just so many people out and there's fewer people working. So there's
Yep.
fewer, whatever you call them, checkout lines to go to. So you have to go to self checkout. So that line's even longer now too. So it's just awful. And if you happen to go to a mall to do Christmas shopping, which I'm not a Christmas shopper. I don't buy presents for people for Christmas. I think we should stop doing that. And, and I haven't done it for many years now, because I dote on my friends and family throughout the year.
Okay.
I buy things for them all the time. I don't need to okay, this one day of the year I'll buy whatever you feel like you need to buy for them. But I think we should stop doing that.
I think it's true.
Yeah, it makes I don't know where. I mean, the tradition. I don't know where it came from, but just the Christmas tradition of flooding people with gifts. I'm even when I was a kid, we didn't get that many gifts when I was a kid. Even though we got some stuff, but it was never a whole lot to where I can't wait for Christmas to get all my things. It was just okay, we get some gifts this day, but it didn't really follow me into adulthood where I was excited for Christmas every year. And I don't know any other adults that are really excited to buy or give gifts. Has anyone ever said I'm excited to go Christmas shopping this year? No, nobody's excited to do that. It's the worst. And it's just it's one of those things that it's we don't have to do this. We're doing this because that's the thing to do, but you really don't have to do it.
No.
And I haven't done it for many years, so I will continue to not do it this year. And that's not from a place of spitefulness or greedy, Scrooge, whatever. There's no need for it. As I said, I buy plenty of stuff for my friends throughout the year, so it's not a big deal. But I do Christmas time. There's a lot of good stories. For some reason, I find myself with some fun stories during Christmas time, and I thought of this one story today, to where this happened last year. So last year, this was around Christmas, and I was going to go see a screening of Eyes Wide Shut in Hollywood at, I think, the Hollywood Theater. It was one of those older theaters that are downtown. I think it was Hollywood Theater. Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay.
It's about sex parties or something?
That's an element of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the masquerade parties. Okay. So for this for this screening, it was encouraged to dress like that.
Okay.
You're going to a masquerade, with the big nose mask or whatever, or capes, dress like that. And I have never been to a sex party, so I don't own any of that kind of stuff. But I wanted to dress the occasion.
Understandable.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to be left out. If everyone else is going to be like that, and I come in my fucking red hoodie, we don't want me in.
Pros?
Be get the fuck out of here. So I wanted to dress for this occasion, and it was a screening, and screenings are big deals. It was usually photos. This one, nobody was from the movie would be there because the movie is from '99. So it was a Cinespia screening. So every once in a while, a celebrity will show up, or they'll record something, But I had a pretty good feeling that because it was Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, they're not showing up for this, right?
You're going to get a PA to show up.
Right. And it's a Stanley Kubrick movie, and he's dead, so he's not showing up. So nobody was going to be there. But yeah, so I wanted to dress the occasion, and I wanted to dress in a nice suit with the other stuff. So I bought the other stuff online. I bought a nice masquerade mask online, and which I ended up losing that night. Another story. But I wanted to buy a new suit still. So I went to the shops it was in Chino Hills, away from Hollywood, nowhere near Hollywood, and I went to buy a suit, and I picked out a suit at a what was it, Banana Republic, and it was a nice suit. It was a nice, expensive suit, and I got to go pay for the suit, and it's holiday season, so it's kind of busy in there. Okay. It's not crazy that day, but it's pretty busy. And then the lady who's ringing up the suit is like, "Oh, what's the occasion?" She's making small talk. And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to a screening tomorrow at the Hollywood Theater." She was like, I said for Eyes Wide Shut at the Hollywood Theater, and she was like, "Oh, are you part of the movie?" And I was like, "Well, the movie's from '99, and it's 2021." I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not. It's It's an older movie. She was like, "Oh, are you in the industry?" And I was like, "No." Right? She was like, "Can you not say anything? Like, can you not say that?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm really not. Like, I'm just going to a screening." She was like, oh, "Okay." So she was like ringing me up, and then there was like a coworker over there, and she was like, "Hey, this guy's going to a screening tomorrow in Hollywood." Like she like called this person over, and I was like,
what the hell?
"What's going on?" And the girl comes over and she does the same thing. She's like, "Oh, are you like somebody important?" And like I'm dressed like totally normal.
Yeah.
I have like a black hoodie, black jeans, white, my normal look, right? And I was like, "I'm really not." And she was like, she does the same thing. She's like, can you not say anything?" I was like, "What the fuck?" Like nobody's like a secret industry person, like unless they're one of the actors, like that's something else. But like, I'm clearly not an actor, and they're like, "Oh, like it was a secret." Like I'm not. Like it's fine, you guys. And they do have like a little one of those like girl laughs with each other, and they're kind of like flirting with me too. Also, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to get my suit and get out of here.
Yeah.
And they're like, so the other girl walks away, and then this girl's like, "Do you want me to steam clean this or steam it out for you so it's ready to go?" And like, perfect, because it's for tomorrow, the screening. So like, yeah, perfect, do that because I won't have time to get it dry cleaned. So she's like, "Okay, it'll be just a few minutes." I'm like, "All right, fine." So I'm standing at the register waiting, and at one point, one of my friends called me, and she was still steaming the thing, and I'm on the phone with him, and then the register next to me. There's some guy there who's buying a suit, and it's the other girl like is now there ringing this guy out. And she was like, "Oh, do you have a rewards number, like a credit number?" And he was like, "I think so. Like, here's my name." She's like, "It's not coming up. Do you have a phone number?" He was like, "Yeah, here's my number." And she does the thing, and she was like, "Oh, is this for John Smith?" And he's like, "No, this is for Stephen White, whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this number is oh wait, no, that's not how it goes. Is this for he says his wife's name."
Yeah.
Wait a minute, how did it go? Hold on. Okay, no. He says like John Smith, whatever. He's like, "Okay, the other name on the account is Steve or Stephanie White." And he's like, "Okay, well, that's my wife, but that's not me, the man's name." Okay, that's how it went. So his name and his wife's name and then some other guy's name came up. And he was like,
shit.
"Yeah." So
Oh,
I was on the phone, and I was immediately like, "I have to call you back." Because I had, like heard like the way he said it was like aggro to where like, that's not me, but that's my wife. So it's like, somebody else. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna call you back." So I just kind of like do one of these, where I like turn on my camera while I'm waiting to see if like something goes down. And he was like, "Can I call my wife real quick?"
Oh damn! Oh shit!
Yeah, and I was like, and he was like, the lady was like, "Yeah." So he gets on the phone, and he was like, I don't hear all of what he said, but he to the effect of like, "Who's Steve White?" Whatever name I said, "Who's Steve White?" or John Smith, whatever I said. And they're on the phone for a little bit, and it's like, like he's like talking for a second, and then he goes back to the lady, and he was like, "Oh, that's my wife's coworker," something like that, towards kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like for a second there, I was like, I'm about to see some shit go down right now. This guy's about to find out that his wife's been cheating on him, something like that, right?
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, so I was like, "I'll call you back," and he got the phone ready to see some bullshit. And that didn't happen. But I do have, like, that was around the holidays. So I do that. A lot of stuff like that happens to me around the holidays. Yeah. And I'll think of more stories as the next few weeks come up, because I've got a lot of those stories of just like, because people are crazy around the holidays, like they do some really crazy shit because they're the desperation of having to prepare for the holiday gatherings and parties really gets to people, because it's always like that first week in January where like nothing is going on. Like everybody's at home, they take time off of work. There's like nobody's like, go to restaurants, like nobody's there. It's just like that cool down of the horrific holiday season. And we're entering into that now, and what's going to be a trip. I always hate it. I can't wait for it to be over. I I'm never gonna understand those people that just love the holidays. Like, let's put the Christmas tree up. It's like you got to take it down in
So
3
much
weeks.
work.
Yeah, it's not that great of a thing, and you know, it's
Maybe people do it for their kids.
yeah, and then like also the ceremony of it. Like, I understand there's like, memories attached to it, like nostalgic memories, and having like I haven't had a real tree in I don't know how many years, but like, the smell's nice, I guess, but like it dies. It's just, there's pine needles everywhere. You have to keep getting underneath it to water it. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass to get it in and out of the house. And then where do you throw it away at? Like there's always sometimes you just leave it outside on the street and they'll take it, but sometimes they don't. So you have to find a place to just like dump it, like, I don't know, behind a department store, which you're not supposed to do, but we all do it. You can't use those dumpsters, but we all do it anyways. Because like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Call a service? Spend $500 to get rid of a $60 tree? No, it's crap. And yeah, I'm not here for it, and we shouldn't be doing it. And, it's bullshit. So yeah, the World Cup's happening right now. I wish I had something to say about it, but I don't. So we're done.
That's the clip.
That's the clip. But yeah, yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Going into 2023 though, I do have something exciting. I have been planning a trip to go to Tokyo.
Oh shit.
2023. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I don't know if you've ever traveled internationally, anybody, but it's a lot of work, especially going to Tokyo, especially in a post-COVID environment. I think because now we're like officially post-COVID. I think this year, at least for Japan, it was like, okay, the last of the barriers, whatever you want to call it, the last of the restrictions. Last restrictions have been lifted. I think you just need a COVID test, and then there's no date attached to it. It could be like for mine back in 2021, it's still fine. So that's going to be exciting. It's a lot of work. It's challenging, international travel, and especially when you don't speak the language, especially when, like for me, I'm going to be traveling alone, I think right now, unless I've put out the call to a few people and some sound interested, but some of them are also flakes. So it may just be me traveling alone, and that's also pretty daunting.
Have you done that before?
Internationally, well, kind of. I went to France once, kind of alone, but not like really alone. I did it through like a group.
Oh, okay.
But then I kind of just did my own thing when I got there. But yeah, this would be the first time just solo. And it is kind of scary, but also exciting, also expensive. Yeah, it's expensive traveling out of the country. Yeah. Usually, I'm used to going to Mexico, where it's the opposite. It's cheap like flight. Yeah, it's cheap. Everything's cheap. You live like a king while you're there, and then you come back to reality, and it's it is what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. There's plenty of places I want to go. I'd like to go to Tokyo, of course. That's like the main destination. See like all the anime shit and like all the, I don't know, all the crazy stuff that's happening over there. Eat all the food. I want to go to the countryside, see all that. There's lots of stuff I want to see. That could be another episode. I could do like a vlog while I'm there and just really figure it out. But yeah, I'm mostly excited coming up for just the holidays to be over, because it's it's not the best time of year for me. I did want to talk about a little bit. It's been a while since I've been to the Comedy Store, and I've been trying to go more often. And Clint's not here to really. He's my like Comedy Store buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like, because I've had a lot of people ask me about comedy clubs lately, because they see that I go all the time, and they've expressed interest. And this is like kind of a thing that's happening lately, is that comedy is getting really big, especially stand-up comedy, because they all have a very successful podcast, which is partially why me and Clint, who's not here, are doing this.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people reach out to me about wanting to go to a comedy club, or just wanting to get into comedy, and being afraid almost, or just like apprehensive about going to a show. And like I said, it's been a while since I've been to the store. It's been a couple months now, just because of I've been busy. And
what are the concerns?
they're just people are afraid to go to a comedy club. I don't
watch comedy.
I don't know if it's the show itself or just the environment, maybe of just being around, being in like a. If you've never been to a show, you don't really know what to expect when you go.
Yeah.
And you know, like I think a lot of people that are not into comedy or stand-up comedy, they just see like stuff online or like YouTube, or just they see like the bad stuff, or you get like a bad heckler or somebody that ruins the show, and or like there's a lot of people that have been to open mics before.
Oh, those are the worst.
Those are rough.
Oh my god,
open mics are rough, and I don't think people realize that open mics, those are there for the comedians to practice, like up and coming comedians to like learn the craft and it's there for them to bomb.
It's like you're watching the people play basketball at the park, and then you go to the NBA, and you're
like what the fuck? Yeah, I think that's what it is. So like, because open mics are free, so a lot of people that have been to open mics, like they think like that's a comedy show, and it's like, well, that is a comedy show, but it's like the analogy you just said. You know, it's like these are people that are here to learn. They're here to get their feet wet. It's cringe. It's like cringe to watch them too. Like some open mics, and you're like, oh my god, like you feel uncomfortable because they're just fucking bombing up there. And so I think like a lot of people think that that's like what's going to happen when you go to a show where there's paid regulars. Like, no, at a show,
never gonna happen.
Yeah, the show where there's paid regulars, you may not think some of it's funny, or you may not get it attached to their comedic style, but they're paid they got passed, like they went through they did the open mics, they did all that shit, and like they've been deemed worthy to entertain you for the night. So if you're going to like the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Improv, whatever, and you're not there to see a headlining comedian, you're just there to see like, oh, I want to go see comedy on Tuesday, and they're like, here's the lineup. You're going to laugh. You know, you're going to have a good time there. It's not going to be an open mic show. So I think that's the real hesitation, is that there's that open mic stigma, because so many people have seen those shows because they're free, that they think that's what stand-up is. And it's like, no, dude, like just go to a show. Like it's fun. There's everyone there's there. They have a good time, and you know, you can get drunk. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too drunk. And then you may disrupt the show. But you know, it's like, it's fun. It's a fun time. And like, I haven't been in a while. I need to go. And yeah, like if you're watching a headlining comedian, that's a whole nother ball game, because they'd have to have done it a long time and like reach a certain level of success to become a headlining comedian. So you know, it's a guaranteed good show. And then like if you have to pay for the show, usually it's good. Like free shows, you know. I
don't. There's always going to be somebody that bombs at those two. Like that's happened. Or I've been to Irvine Improv to see like somebody headline and then the person that opened for them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can I tell you a quick story about that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So there was a comedian. Her hook was that she was the one that Brett Favre sent dick pics to, and she's a comedian now. And so she made reference to that at the beginning of her set, but I didn't know that until afterwards that I looked it up. So she her whole thing was kind of like off that start of her joke, and nobody got it, and it was so hard to watch. And it's like, this is why people that get famous for something that's not comedy shouldn't just start doing comedy out of nowhere.
That too. There's a lot of sometimes actors do it, but like there's reality stars that try to do it, and they think, oh, I'm famous, I can do this. And they get up on stage and they just fucking bomb.
And they'll fill the Irvine Improv or whatever. Right? Yeah. At this point, like, you'll get a housewife.
Yeah. Oh my God. There was one housewife who opened for Whitney Cummings, and it was like, what are you doing? It's like, I know, like Whitney is like, oh, it's one of my friends, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't do it. If they're not a touring comedian, like someone who's like done it at least once.
Especially for a Whitney Cummings crowd.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, that too. Like you'll get some openers that are like in different levels of their career, and like it's good for the comedians like to like put you on the lineup so you can get some kind of recognition. But if you fucking suck, it's like, oh, especially if you're, like you said, a headlining show, it's like they paid at least like $20, you know, whatever it is. Like they paid to see a show. And if you're not going to deliver on that show, it's going to be silence or heckles or booze, and you don't want any of that.
But that's the thing is for people that are listening that have never been there, like, it's kind of like the fun of it is that most of the time you're going to laugh, but there's always that chance because it's all like they're testing all some people are testing their stuff out.
That's true. That is true. If you go to like to the store, one of those paid regular lineups, they are practicing too.
Yeah. But if you're going like on a Tuesday night and Mark Maron's trying to test out his jokes, it's not going to not be funny.
Exactly. It's still going to be funny. He's still Mark Maron.
Yeah, exactly.
He may be trying something new and it may not hit, but the next joke will be funny. You know, it's just one joke. Yeah. So yeah, I think that, don't be afraid to go to a comedy show. It's a lot of fun, open mics, if you're feeling like for a free night, maybe sometimes they've got like discounted drinks or something as a way to get like to pack the room. So you get what you pay for when you go to those things, but don't be afraid to go to the store one night or go to the Improv or even the Laugh Factory. Laugh Factory is great. It gets a bad rap sometimes, but this is a good, it's on Sunset Boulevard. So, it's like a few doors down from the store. So it's fine. Yeah, go to your fucking comedy store. Go to your stand-up shows, guys. But I'm going to stop it here today because this is my first solo episode and I'm out of shit. So thank you for being here, Caesar. Thank you for kind of filling in for Clint.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it. Did you want to plug something before we go?
Yeah. So I've been making this documentary about the Orange County music scene. It's basically a story of my radio show as well called The Rodriguez Show. And so this thing is called One Night in Santa Ana. And it's basically like the stories of different artists in the area. And it also tells the story of the show. And then we've booked a venue and filmed cinematically some of the performances.
Nice.
So I think if you like any kind of music, you'll find something in there you'll like. So
I saw about the first 15 minutes today.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Where can they find it at?
YouTube.com/The Rodriguez Show. That's my YouTube channel, and it's up there. It's a full movie for free.
Nice. And you can find myself on Instagram at Uncle2_Marcus. Clint is at the Clinton _Clinton _show. And again, we're on YouTube, Spotify, all the things, the 30s podcast. Thank you for being here. See you next time.